Hello and welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how I made these chains connecting to the lamp. Now, this model is one that I made a long time ago in another program. And the way that I made these chains was one link at a time. I made one, and then I copied, rotated, and moved into position, and then copy, rotate, move, again and again and again, until I had the entire length of the chain. And it wasn't fun, but I didn't know of a better way back then. But now I'm using Blender, and I do know a better way. So I imported the model, and I was able to make these chains in just a matter of minutes. And now I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to hide all of this stuff for now, and I'm going to make this lamp visible, which doesn't have any chains attached to it. Now, to begin making this chain, I need to create a single link. So I'm going to hit the number 7 key on the number pad to switch to top view, and then Shift A, and I'm going to add a torus. And I already know that I need to set my major segments to 32, minor segments to 10, the major radius to 0.014, and the minor radius to 0.0035. And that will give me the correct size for this link. Now I'm going to switch to edit mode and face selection. It's like I shifted there, okay. And I'm going to hit Alt-Z to go into X-ray mode, and I'm going to select half the torus. Then I'll hit P and separate by selection. Then I'm going to go back to object mode, select this separated half, and I'm going to move it over 0.02 in the X direction. Then I'll hold down Shift and select the other half. Then with both halves selected, I'll right-click and join. And now they're back to being one object. Next, I'll switch back to edit mode and edge selection. And I'm going to select these edges and shift select these edges. And then go to the edge menu and bridge edge loops. And then I'm going to do the same thing for these edges. And now I'll switch back to object mode. Alt-Z to get out of X-ray mode. And now I have a single link. And now I can start making the chain. So I'm going to hit Shift A and add a curve path. And I'm going to go to edit mode. And I'm going to move these control points in to shorten the path because it's going to be way too long for what I need. Now I'll switch back to object mode and go to the, I actually need to select the chain link, and then go to the modifier tab and add an array modifier. For the fit type, I'm going to set that to fit curve. And for the curve object, I'm going to select the path. And I'm going to add another modifier, a deform curve. And for the curve object, I'm going to select the path again. Now I'll hit Shift A, and I'm going to add an empty sphere, or whatever empty you want. I just usually pick sphere. And I'm going to set the radius down to 0.03 just to make it smaller. And now I'll select the chain, and I'll go back to the modifier tab. And I'm going to enable object offset. And for the object, I'm going to select the empty. And now I can click on the empty, and holding down the control key, if I rotate around 90 degrees, I'll get the links lining up the way they need to be. And now to get the links so that they're interlocking, just select the chain and go back to the Modifier tab. And you need to adjust the factor X until the links start to interlink. Now I already know for this project, if I set it at 0.75, that seems to work out pretty well. But it might be different for you depending on how big your links are. So you may have to play around with this number a little bit until you get something that looks right. And now we have a chain. Just with the chain selected, right click and shade smooth. And that's it. It's ready to use. Just select the path and then go to edit mode. And now you can adjust the chain by clicking and dragging on these control points. And if you need to make the chain longer or you just need more control points, select the point on the end and hit E for extrude, and then just drag it out longer. And you can go in different directions, make it do anything you want. Take it back. Now to move or rotate the chain, you got to make sure that you select the chain, the path, and the empty. If you only have, let me switch to object mode. If you only select the chain and you try to rotate it, it's going to do weird things. Same thing if you try to move it, it's going to break all apart. So just make sure you have all three selected, and then you can move and rotate and get it over where you need it. And once I got the first one completed, I selected the chain, the path, and the empty, and then Shift D to duplicate it. And then I adjusted the chain for the other side. So once you have the chains set up the way you want, you can go back to the Modifier tab, click on the chain, go back to the Modifier tab, and you can apply the modifiers. And then you can delete the paths and the empties. I'll just leave you with the chains. Anyway, that's about it for this one. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.